Hey, so like I know I said I was gonna take a month for the next one, but I really want to make a Balatro video. So there you go. You get a nice mozzarella stick appetizer before the nice chicken alfredo main course. Yeah, that's it.
Well, you're one great card player, Mike.
Growing up, I spent a lot of time with cards. Not these cards, but more so these cards. Anyways, with that being said, Balacho's a banger. In fact, I'd probably say this is like a perfect game here. Not to say it's like unflawed or anything, but I sure as hell can't pick out any. No joke, I'd put this up there with some of the best indie games I've played in my life. Cuphead, Super Meat Boy, Celeste. At least all those games have something in common. I think cards are in Cuphead somewhere. Balatro is one of those special games you could genuinely play till the end of time and not get bored. There really is no end to it, technically. There really is so much stuff packed into this one little title. $15 for this almost seems criminal because of how much content is involved with this game, but I'll get to that in a minute. First, I want to touch on how I was even introduced to this game in the first place. Around October of last year, I was pretty addicted to the Poker Night, the inventory games, and I happened to stream them a lot in our Discord server, and one of my friends was watching, so they decided to go on Steam and look for any poker game really, and they just happened to stumble upon Balatro, and that's pretty much how I got involved with this game real quick, and I've been playing it pretty consistently ever since. In fact, I've dumped over 50 hours in this game. And on a side note, I really like that my friends watch these videos because I can make stupid inside jokes that no one else would understand, like this one. Balatro's gameplay variety pretty much knocks like 90% of the games released in this generation out of the park, and that goes for most indie games, it seems, as of late, because for some reason companies prioritizing money over anything else is somehow a bad strategy when it comes to marketing things meant for entertainment. There's so much to do here. You can collect everything in the compendium, every joker in the game, the decks, tags, card rarities, arcanas, planet cards, all that cool stuff. It's so much that you genuinely can't get bored. And then you got the different decks that each give their own little twist on the game, and as you complete the decks over and over again at higher difficulties, the stakes will increase and give you more difficulty options that let you scale and find your perfect balance. It's really, really awesome. And once you get done with all those, if you're still bored, you got challenge modes that, you know, restrict stuff like your deck, the money you can make, jokers you have. It's so involved and amazing, and it really perplexes me with all these people on Twitter that complain about it just being another card game. And the most they'll do is get the game and beat the first deck on white stake and just be like, oh, beat Balatro, yeah, that was mid. That's not how it works, okay? Come back to me when you beat the omelet like a real man. It genuinely feels so unique compared to other deck builder games where most games will come up with their own rules and own presentation, somewhat reminiscent of existing games, but Balatro is solely based on pretty much the most popular card game ever, but still finds a way to put its own unique twist on it with the Joker mechanic, and that is enough to put a massive spin on this. Just like in regular poker, while most perceive the game as completely luck-based, and I mean, that's kind of true, it does take skill to plan out what jokers you want to keep, what order to put them in, and even when you're playing your hands, choosing which hands to play and what order to place your cards in to get the most out of them as possible. There's so much intrinsic thought thrown into this game that makes you think unlike anything else I've ever played. The only thing I can think that comes close to this is like The Witness, but the difference is The Witness is just kind of bullshit sometimes. I mean, Balatro can also be bullshit sometimes, but it doesn't feel as infuriating, usually. But we'll get to that later. Don't you worry about that part. Everything about this game just keeps you wanting to play more and more. From the mesmerizing background music, the swirling vistas you see as you're playing, even just stuff like the cards slowly floating and those flames whenever you stack your mult to like infinity. It's so satisfying, and I don't know, man. I just love this game so much. Alright, now it's time for the part that I lied about. In a game with this much variety, there are things that are going to be very, very good. But in order to have things that are very, very good, you first have to have things that are very, very bad. And I just want to talk about a couple of those right now. In a pool of 150, obviously some jokers are going to be better than others. But the range in which the best jokers compared to the worst jokers is absolutely staggering. And while that sounds absolutely wretched, it leads to some pretty fun gameplay stuff, especially people that are trying to work an entire playthrough around just a singular Joker's mechanics, because that's pretty awesome. But it doesn't make it very fun when you're actively trying to complete things. I'm pretty confident in saying that I am never going to get completionist plus because I'd rather die than take campfire to endgame on gold stake.
Fuck you.
Recently, me and my friends put together this tier list of the Jokers. It wasn't anything super deep. It was a kind of a quick little burst thing we did for fun. Pretty much just putting every Joker against each other on an even playing field, not comparing them to any deck or certain scenarios, just flat out on their own how good they are from top to bottom. And each tier isn't really in any particular order, but I think it's pretty fair to say that the bottom tiers that we decided on are pretty definitive, and anything in the mid tiers, just the basic stuff, 50 chips for a pair, that's not really going to take you anywhere. But as for the bottom Jokers, yeah, we pretty much just put these here because they're ones that genuinely would just have absolutely no use at all. At least some in D tier, while they can be considered pretty bad, I've seen cool strategies built around them and seen them be useful at least a couple times, whereas pretty much everything in the bottom tier will get you nowhere because they're a waste of a slot, and most likely the only reason you take them to endgame is because you had them as a free negative skip. Who in their right mind is like, yeah, you know what, I do want to discard 3 face cards each round. I do want to keep queens in my hand for no reason. I would love to have a double tag out of nowhere and use up a Joker slot for it. Oh yeah, it's not like I use my discards before I make my hand plays. Of course I love Banner. That's so awesome. My favorite maneuver in this game is playing a random 6 because I'm just goofy like that. Yeah, whatever you say, buddy, just get out of the room. All right, we get it. You like eating ham sandwiches for lunch. And then there's Campfire, which is my personal pick for the worst Joker in the game. Yeah, it sucks major booty hole. I'd rather take any other Joker in the entire game than have, free multiplicative mult each time I sell a card off and have it reset at the end of the ante. Oh, that's so inviting, At that point, I'll just take the dagger with Riffraff. At least the dagger kills Jokers, but at least I get permanent mult out of it. This guy just takes it away from me. I'd be open to hearing anybody's stance on why this Joker isn't bad, but it's hard for me to listen to a stance when it's objectively wrong. Yeah, and I guess some of the tags are pretty bad. I could care less to have a free reroll in the next shop. The clown does that for me. Another thing with the variety is how much this game can really bring people together, especially because with so much to choose from, it's a game that people can always have dedicated favorites and share those opinions with other people, from your favorite decks, even your favorite Jokers, and everyone's got some of their favorites. Some of my personal favorites, we have Riffraff because free Jokers is pretty cool, and especially because Riffraff can make anything from photograph and even hanging Chad, even like your base little guys that give you some extra mult. Those are really neat. I love Stencil Joker because he's really cool and fun, and if you get him first shop, it's really dope to have ×5 mult off the bat, even though eventually just becomes useless anyway, but he's still cool. Oh yeah, and of course on that topic, oh yeah, Chad's the Chad because he's a Chad. And also, I guess if you're wondering, Abandoned Deck is my favorite because face cards are stupid, and I like riding the bus by myself. At this point, I'm just rambling on, but yeah, I love Balatro, and I doubt this video was intrinsic enough to make anybody sway their opinions or get anybody to be like, dang, you know what, this guy was spitting facts, I should buy this game. But it was pretty fun, and I wanted to talk about it, so yeah, this is what you got. And with all that being said, I got Plasma Gold Stake, and it's the worst deck in the game, and I'm never playing it again. Plasma deck sucks! And I give Balatro 5 big booms or whatever the fuck. No, I got face cards! No!
No! This your deck? Oh, this your goat deck? Oh,
No!
Clown show.